This is his room.
His room is as he left it.
It's almost a year, but it feels like yesterday.
His memory, a mix of laughter and sadness.
He really was the cornerstone of this family.
Carl Betts was 51 when he died on the streets in South L.A.
I know it's a large city, and I know he's not the only one that's happened to. But I would really like to know.
His family gathered together to share their stories of Carl, the 9th of 11 siblings, and the only one to face such a tragedy.
They called me and said that he got shot at.
His brother Ronald says they shared a special bond.
He wasn't no bad guy, he was an excellent guy.
Everyone felt they had their own bond with Carl.
As a person, he's always upbeat, you know what I mean? He was never down, you never catch him down. He can have the worst day in his life, but he would never let you know that.
Carl's worst day came May 31st of last year while visiting friends near 85th and St. Andrews in the South LA neighborhood of Manchester Square.
Parked in this car when a vehicle approached alongside and shot into his vehicle.
Surveillance video released for the first time shows what police believe to be the suspect vehicle. The only description, a dark sedan. But notice just before the car passes by, there are people walking by. LAPD Criminal Gang Homicide Division says there are a lot of people who have yet to come forward.
People do talk about these sort of events, and whether they brag about it or they speak to someone about it, someone has that piece of the puzzle here that would help us bring some justice and some closure to the family of Carl Betts.
And to see that man that I had just cooked breakfast for that morning laying in that plastic bag for hours, and to know some coward had done that to him, you know, it's just unbelievable.
The family visits his gravesite now with emotions bouncing back and forth between sadness and anger.
How could you do it? How could you just just shoot somebody in the head?
My mother and father in their 80s. They're not expecting to bury their children. But they had to go and bury the one that lives with him.
One of the things Carl's family says hurts them the most about all this is that Carl grew up in this neighborhood. Neighbors knew who he was, and yet nobody has come forward to help police find out who killed him.
It's still a major problem.
And LAPD says the murder of Carl Betts may show a much scarier truth to residents of South LA, that anyone could be a victim. He was specifically asked, where are you from, as in what gang are you in?
I think at this point they saw a car with people standing around it, and that's what caused this thing to occur. Anyone who lives in the community can be a victim.
This was a horrible, cowardly act, and it shouldn't go unnoticed, unpunished, and it shouldn't set the tone for what goes on in LA.
And for whoever it was who pulled the trigger.
You're scum. You're scum. Yeah.
Carl's family says they'll seek justice however long it takes.
They took a dear person away from us. So I don't think that person should see daylight.
In South LA, John Cadiz Klimak.
No more.
NBC4 News.